honestly, it's definitely needed. I know a lot of the drivers are feeling the pressure at the moment, but we are back well and truly. Let me just double check the audio is working a-okay. Doesn't sound like it is at all. Hold on a second. Nope, there it is. Okay, we're good. We got audio. We're good. Apologies there. So, into qualifying, we have a few drivers out there today. I think we have 13 all up. 14 now. That's good. Let's get the stuff up that you guys like to see. We'll get lap data and, of course, full track map as well. And Alex, immediately starting off the qualifying session. Welcome, Disco Bear. Good to see a familiar face. Thank you. Yeah, I just had to double check. The audio problems had gone away. Yeah, minimal safety cars would be nice around here. We're potentially looking at a bit of a hazy sky, so maybe some rain on the way. Who knows? But the Mercedes of Alex, a gentle reminder that he is the only virtual reality driver in the league, so always impressive to see him out on the field. He'll be the first one to set a flying lap around here tonight, warming up those red soft tyres on that Mercedes AMG Petronas F1 car. So, China provided one of the best races I've seen for Tier 1 so far, so it should be good of a race tonight. It should be quite interesting to watch the drivers out there. Hopefully we get the last driver to join. We're supposed to have 15 out in the grid, but I guess NFL is a little bit important as well for some people. That's not throwing shade, that's just genuine things. Anyway, let's jump on board as Alex prepares to start the first flying lap around this Shanghai International Circuit. So the final corner, critical you don't go wide there. So let's begin. DRS wide open as we head towards turn 1. Turn 1 will greet the drivers. It's a very fast right-hander that gradually tightens and gets tighter as you turn in. And you can see here, it just turns and turns. It gets tighter and tighter and tighter until you get to the corkscrew. Second corner now, onto the third. And that brings us onto a little bit of a straight here that opens up into another hairpin. Braking hard down towards third gear, second gear now. Climbing back up to the gears. Want to get on the power as quick as possible, as cleanly as you can as well. Stick to the left-hand side of the track here. Late apex turns into a long right-hander. Yet again, incredible pace shown so far. Now, the harder bit of the second sector. A little bit of a lock up there, a little bit of a mistake from Alex, but that's okay. Continuing on his way towards the third sector. We're looking for a 51.5 as an optimal second sector. Alex currently with a 51.9. So not bad from him at all. Around the Shanghai Sling is what I like to call it. The Shanghai Sling onto the longest back straight on the calendar for this year, I believe. I mean, Baku has the longest front straight, but the back straight by far, I think it's around 1.5 kilometers long, as into the tightest hairpin on the calendar as well. As we open back up through the gears, as we approach the final corner to complete a lap, what is the time that the drivers will be chasing around this fabled Shanghai International Circuit? A 132.128. So expect that to go down to about a 131.5, I'd say. Howie on his lap as well. Sector 1 yellow flags. Just Alex getting out the way at the moment. Howie definitely one to watch around here, and so is Andre. So the two McLarens are going to be the drivers to watch tonight. They got it all right, last week at Hungary with damage limitations. So they did a really good job on that. We'll see if Liddy can come back from the unfortunate race they had. Not Liddy, sorry. Kendra can come back from the unfortunate race they had last week as well. So it should be good to see some competition out on track. Fastest laps now being set, and there we go, a 130. So immediately down into the 130. So 130.974. So that mistake in the second sector really, really costing Alex by the looks of it. As Andre heads towards the line. It's currently looking a potential 130.5 here. I lied, it's probably about a 132. So there's a 131.810, 131.5 from Marv as well, so not bad at all. Howie on the pace as well, probably looking at about a 131.3 maybe. Heading towards the line, what's he going to do? 131.9. So even more time to be found out there for these guys. Kendra on their lap as well. And just pushing through the corners of the Shanghai International Circuit. Shanghai sling to greet Kendra soon, and I believe that was Twitch Liddy jumping up the pack there. That was a good lap with a 132.088. Disqualified, going the wrong way. Harris has been disqualified right off the bat for going the wrong way. And you start to wonder, how on earth has that happened? So fully disqualified, yellow flags have been shown. The AI is having an absolute spack. We're on board with Kendra. So Kendra continuing on the way to the line, and it's good enough for 8th at the moment. Let's see who else is on their laps. Ghost Rider's out on their laps. Raffley is on a set of intermediate tyres. You'll see a lot of drivers do that. They do like to go on intermediates just to test their stuff is working correctly. Now, I'd be very interested. I'm going to have a look at the Discord real quick. I want to have a look if anybody said anything about that. Andre just reporting as well, no rain at all for the race. So, roughly again, just on that intermediate set of tyres. Ghost Rider now on his lap as well, so he'll be one to watch out for. I think continuing, I want to see if at Harris can we get something that happened there. I want to just find out how that's happened. Got the question mark in there and everything. That is such a strange turn of events, especially for the Aston Martin team. It's not what they needed. The only driver out there for them tonight. But Ghost Rider, again, 52.4. So Baggis, currently with the fastest pace we've seen for a while around here. That's a 130.974. That is a pretty significantly fast time. I think that would have been within the top 10 in Tier 1. So that's a pretty good time from Baggis. Let's see if something happens from that time, though. Or if someone can beat that. Alex on his out lap, so he's out of sync with the other drivers, but occasionally that does work out. So here we go. Ghost Rider to cross the line. And it should be like a 132.6, it's 133 flat, so it's good enough for 9th at the moment. Raffley on he's going to come into the pits, obviously. Combined on his lap, what's he going to do around here? It's probably going to be looking like a 132.5 maybe. At the moment with the pace he's setting. There we go, 132.581. So not bad at all. Verstappen, though, has been a championship contender for the majority of this season. The question is, does he qualify well around here tonight? Through the hairpin and onto the power. Verstappen to set his pace and to set his mark on the grid. What's it going to be? A 131.6. It's got a third. That's not bad at all from Verstappen. Now Alex preparing one of his final flying laps. Or sorry, one of the 3 last flying laps he'll do. So into turn 1 now. He's going to have a lot of traffic to contend with. Very wide, and that's a moment and a half from Alex, so he'll back out of that one. A good save as well to keep it out of the barrier. The rear end just coming loose, the front end biting a little bit too much, and that Mercedes is going to have absolutely nothing in it unless he can save those tyres for another run, which I think he will try and do anyway. Kendra, unfortunately, down on time with the validation. I think combined as well, just waiting for the opportunity to set a lap. I think he's done though. I'm pretty sure that's coming into the pits, this one, so we'll see. Does the Williams come into the pits? Yes, he does. So the Williams goes into the pits. Marv on his lap though, we'll jump on board with him. Let's do the second sector we go. We're slightly up on our time there by 15 milliseconds. So we'll see if that improves as the time goes on. I'll have a look and see if Harris has responded there. He hasn't. So, interesting situation for him. Going backwards on the circuit. Sure, that'll be looked at by the stewards. Again, a bit of a strange situation. Purple for the second sector for Harris. For Marv, apologies there. It's been a pretty good sector from him so far. Sector 3, that was a clean run through there. He'll get a nice slingshot DRS slipstream down the back straight here. As towards the hairpin. This Williams is most Alpine there. Apologies are bad. I think that's roughly definitely has to get out of the way there and does so. So let's see. Is this enough for Marv to go to provisional pole? No, it isn't. A 131.386, so still 3/10 down. Still finding a 10th and a half out there, so not a bad lap at all. Andre on a banger at the moment. 4/10 up. His yellow flag's in front of him, but it doesn't matter as he goes to second. Howie currently down a little bit, so time to be found for him. May as well take that off. Howie to the line now, unless he backs out. He doesn't. He continues on the way. Just runs it to the edge of the curb there. And it's a 131.624. And that is quite literally 20 milliseconds ahead of Verstappen. That is a beautiful time to push him up to 4th place. Twitch Liddy jumps up to 4th there. That was a good lap from them. As, let's see, roughly currently a 1.5 seconds up on their time. Purple second sector as well, so it'll be interesting to see if anything comes of that. Do we have any predictions for tonight, fellas? What are we thinking? I'd like to see a bit of a masterclass from Alex. That'd be great if we can see him, because we definitely saw a little bit of Alex coming alive in the Hungarian Grand Prix last week. I'd love to see some of that action here at the Chinese Grand Prix, Shanghai International Circuit. Roughly all the way to the limit of the track. What's it going to be? That's good enough for 4th. That's a very decent lap. Finding 4.5 seconds out there. Very, very decent lap from Raffley. As, let's see who else is on the lap. Jay Bez is backed out of his. Howie isn't on a lap. Unless... Nope, no DRS. Liddy isn't on a lap, I don't believe. Maybe Jay Bez is on a lap. And I'm very wrong, but I don't think so. Yeah, no, definitely not. But probably coming into the pits. Alex, Marv, and Andre, I think would be an amazing battle if Alex can come alive. Absolutely agree with that statement. It'd be great to see Alex fighting at the front of the pack. Or at least fighting in general. He's had some really bad string of races recently, unfortunately. Whoa, my controller's disconnected. Oh, that's not good. Hold on a second, guys. I'm going to fix this for you. I think I may have run out of battery on my controller, which is a little bit awkward. Let's just fix that real quick. And as I fix that, I'll just try and just commentate using the keyboard. Well, the good thing is nobody's out there really. I think it was F1. No, it's not F1. F2s to change that. That's F7 and F8. There we go. All right, so Kendra starting their lap now as we head into turn 1. Kendra has to find a decent time out here. Unfortunately, making a little bit of a mistake in their first run and looking to redeem in their second. That should be new batteries installed. We should have better... Yep, we're back. So, we've got control back. Yes, absolutely. Disco, I agree. Alex has had a really bad luck. String of bad luck races. But let's hope he can have something happen tonight. Kendra on a lap at the moment and pushing the only driver out there, the Red Bull car. Pushing to the limits of the circuit and beyond by the looks of that. A bit of a switch of oversteer as she touched the curb. Sorry, apologies. In Sector 2. Heading towards Sector 3 now, and it's currently 2/10 up, so that'll find 8th position at the moment. If Kendra can find a little bit more time out there, absolutely banging on with the lap. We'll see what they can do. I think backing out of it. Yes, Kendra has backed out, and they're going to try and regain some ERS, I reckon. Look at that. Look at that. That's meta and a half. Holding the accelerator, holding the brake at the same time to regenerate. That's meta, if I've ever seen it. Anyway, Kendra will, I think, start another lap. So we wait and see what that Red Bull will do now that everybody's out. And you can just see the gaggle of cars in that Sector 1 corkscrew at the moment. Kendra getting ready, getting rid of the fuel, and going for it. A lot of traffic to contend with, and most likely cold tyres as well. But Kendra will be looking to improve on that lap time of 1:32.259. That Sector 2 mistake really costing time out there. Into the corkscrew. This is the final run for Kendra. Has to make sure it's a good one. Through Sector 1, that was looking pretty clean through there. As we now head into the hairpin of Sector 2. Sector 1 currently a tenth and a bit up. Apologies there, almost 2 tenths. Rear wheel spin, a good save. That's going to cost at least half a tenth. Continuing through, don't touch that inside curb, it'll spin out the car. We saw that. Hugs the inside right there. That was beautiful through there. Not a mistake inside so far. Good on the power, good on the traction. How is this Sector 2 split going to look? It's down, and it's down significantly. It's actually down more than they would have liked, and I think that's it. Kendra is going to have to think here. I don't know how they're going to come back from that, but Baggis will start us off for the final flying laps of the session. Can Baggis hold that pole position? We will have to wait and see. Here we go into turn 1. Baggis all the way down into the corkscrew, hugs the right-hand side of the track, now opens it up for the left-hand side and continues on his way. Elite traction out of there and looking very clean and consistent. Has Baggis set a purple first sector that anybody's going to be able to challenge? No, he hasn't. So Baggis, without the purple first sector. Andre, currently on a good lap. Marv on a good lap. They're all following each other. Raffley currently 4 seconds up on that time. I don't know where that's come from. I don't think that's serious. I think that's a glitch. Sector 2 yellow flags. I think that's Marv around. Yes, I would be thinking right. So Marv having a bit of a moment there. Maybe a bit of problem with their steering. The Stake Formula 1 team looking a bit in shambles at the moment. Disco Bear, I can't wait to see what Alex does for this lap. I agree. I really want to see Alex push to the limit. Be great to see him up the front. He's always one of the more aggressive drivers, and it's always a pleasure to watch. Does take it a bit too far sometimes, but not going to deny that. So Baggis here. Final flying lap combined will start a net P4 at the moment. Provisional P4 for net, for combined at the moment. Ghost Rider starts 13th and last on the grid. Baggis runs very, very wide at the exit. That's going to gain him some time, to be fair, as 30.792. So Baggis on provisional pole at the moment. Let's take in with Alex, currently on a lap for, I believe, 7th place. The positioning hasn't really changed around here tonight. As across the line comes Alex for 9th. That's not bad at all. The Verstappen, big old moment, and it's Sainz into the wall and out of qualifying. Verstappen has pulled a Sainz in the dying seconds of qualifying, and everybody's lap is now ridiculed to nothing. Verstappen pushing way too hard there at the exit and just coming a cropper to the curb. But there you go, guys. That is your grid set for the Grand Prix. Baggis, followed by Andre, Raffley, Marv, combined, Howie, Livy, Verstappen, Alex, J, Beza, Jeff, Kendra, Ghost Rider, and of course Harris, who got disqualified in the first minutes of qualifying. Still confused as to how that happened. We still haven't gotten confirmation on how it happened as well. So, a bit of a confusing one for the Stewarts tonight, without a doubt. Let's wait and see what happens in the race tonight. I'm actually very excited for this one. We have a very competitive field at the front of the grid. I think Baggett takes this quite easily unless he makes a very big mistake. But there you go, guys. That is your qualifying done and dusted. We will have a formation lap for this Grand Prix. So we'll just do the classic race spec intro, which is very quiet for some reason. Ladies and gentlemen, to the race here at Shanghai. We're going to have the formation lap shortly here. Normally I show the track map, but I don't think that was actually working. I tried testing it when we started and it just didn't load. So not going to bother with that again. But yeah, let's talk about the Shanghai International Circuit. So it's one of the trickier circuits on the calendar. The tyre degradation around here is ridiculously high. You have some of the highest tyre wear of the calendar on this circuit. You have to be really careful as well. That long left-hander in Sector 2 has caught so many drivers off guard today as formation lap begins. So we can begin by getting up all the stuff you guys love to see around here. Let's have a quick look at the tyres for the drivers out there today. So a majority of them on the hard tyre. That's not a surprise at all. And only 3 of them on the medium tyre. So let's see what the medium tyre runners can do around this circuit tonight. Hopefully they can come through the field. Just trying to find my notes on the Shanghai International Circuit, because I know I have them here somewhere. It's one of my lesser favourite tracks, I guess you could say. I'm not the biggest fan of this one. I enjoy the racing around here, without doubt, but I don't enjoy racing around it when I'm out there. Okay, well, it looks like I can't find my notes. So, is what it is. Pretty sure it's 19 corners around this Shanghai International Circuit. A very rare moment where I'm not prepared. Very, very rare. But alas, it happens. But these drivers will be thinking about how they're going to get away from the grid. That is the major thing. The start of the Grand Prix, a very, very short dash down to Turn 1. One of the shortest on the calendar. And it's a definitely brutal Turn 1. As if you get it wrong, you're pretty much out of contention straight away. Because the corkscrew obviously comes back on itself for a second there. And then drops back into a traditional racing circuit. So here we go. With the formation lap complete, Baggett will line us up to start this Grand Prix. Alpine just smoking there slightly. I think the brake's just being a little bit hot. Twitch Liddy lining up with the Haas, doing the burnouts, getting those rear tyres ready and rearing to go. Alex also lines up and gets ready to go. And here we go. Look at Raffley, though. That is a very, very aggressive positioning. I wonder if he'll be reset there. He won't. Look at that. Raffley with some of the most aggressive positioning I've ever seen in my life. We have a terrible view. It's lights out and away we go here for the start of Tier 2 Shanghai Circuit. And it's a chaotic start at the front with Raffley getting the start he would have wanted. Andre immediately dropping down the pack. And we go 3 wide through the corkscrew. That was wild into Turn 1. Alex dropping down positions, unfortunately, and Marv trying to go up the inside of Andre. Andre's had a really, really bad start here. Not the start that McLaren driver would have wanted. Smoke at the rear of the pack, and Sector 1 yellow flags are out. I think Verstappen. Someone's had a moment there. Alex has had a moment. Alex is in the wall as there is chaos at the back, and you just see how much there is. There's clearly been some kind of incident, and Alex's luck just goes from bad to worse. It just does not stop for this man. Let's see how he progresses through this Grand Prix. 28 laps to go. There's quite a few laps around this circuit, so we'll see how he goes. There was chaos at the back there. I think Verstappen just touching Jay Beza and losing a bit of front wing. So, an aggressive and a chaotic first lap at the moment around this Shanghai International Circuit. Looks like room for it. Baggis has already run away with this lead with about a second apart as Andre gets turned around by Howie. The two teammates colliding on lap 1, and that's not what you would have wanted to see. The McLaren team in shambles. That is not at all good for the championship, and Andre will be livid with that. He will not be happy, and all of this time, that is just allowing Baggis and the Alpines to just start pulling their gaps away from the driving at the back. The brilliant strategy at the moment from the two Alpines, as we would have expected. Rafley running very, very wide there on Exodus, as all the drivers running very wide there. I wonder if there's a bit of a thing you can do to avoid a penalty, as Howie will jump on board with some telemetry as well. He'll be trying to hunt down the two Alpines with damage limitation. This is an important Grand Prix for these two teams. The Alpine and the McLaren have been locked in horns and in battle for this entire season. And we're now pretty much halfway through. Howie potentially looking for a move up the inside there on the hairpin, and Rafley getting it all wrong. Now Howie's going to have the better traction out the corner. Let's jump off board as Howie's going to try around the outside, backs out of it. He knows that's not a smart move to make on the medium tyres. He'll be looking to improve as quick as he can, as everybody else on the hards in front of him. There's your possible race strategies. It's a one-stop strategy around here, unless there's a safety car. I wouldn't expect anyone to do the two-stopper at all. I think Verstappen's had a bit of a moment. I think Verstappen's definitely had a bit of a moment, and unfortunately, it's just gone from bad to worse for Verstappen. Is dropping down the field with chaos ensuing on lap 1, as Howie's still right on the back of Rafley, and I think this is the best opportunity for him to overtake, especially with ERS and DRS enabled. Down to the hairpin we go. Last of the late breakers. Howie tries to go up the inside. Rafley has a little look around the outside to try and defend it. Nothing of it, as Howie now sets on his sights to hunt down the likes of Baggis. The two Alpines have put the McLaren in a sandwich, and there's absolutely nothing he can do about it. He's going to have to fight to the end. Is Rafley going to have a move up the inside here? I thought he was, but I thought better off it, I think, as the action relaxes ever so slightly. And we can breathe. 1.4 seconds the gap to Baggis in front. There's a fight going at the back here. It's absolutely sideways through the corkscrew for Verstappen. This will be an interesting one to watch. Marv as well, with combined right on the back of him. Let's see what they can do through Sector 2. Beautiful camera work from the helicopter operators. Lovely to have them on scene today. Shanghai International Circuit as well. Looking absolutely banger tonight. Lockups are plenty into this Shanghai sling. The Shanghai slingshot, as a lot of people like to call it. Here we go. Marv with the best opportunity to overtake Rafley here. Rafley has dropped back on that pack, and Howie has gained and gained and gained, and all of a sudden they're in DRS slipstream range as well. So don't you dare count the McLarens out of this yet, as Marv overtakes Rafley. As on to lap 4 of 28 we go. Howie setting the pace, and most definitely hunting down the likes of Baggis, and he'll be wanting to get past as quick as possible, especially with those medium tyres as compared to the hards. Alex was in the top 10 briefly there. You can just see Rafley and combined almost coming together there through the hairpin. Corkscrew now, and it follows all the way through, and Rafley holds that position with combined still fighting and trying to gain that back. Howie's still hunting down Baggis, and you can just see that time coming down all the time on that interval. I'll keep an eye on that as the Grand Prix goes on. But it's definitely one to watch, without a doubt here. As Rafley still hunting down the Sauber of Marv, and Howie in a prime position now to strike on Baggis with optimal tyres. Way faster through the slingshot, and you can just see that there is down the back straight we go towards the strongest hairpin, the strongest braking zone on the calendar. DRS open. Howie's going to go straight past, or is he? Is Baggis going to have something to say about it? Baggis will not have something to say about it. There's a double lockup, apologies there. And Howie takes the lead of this Grand Prix, but again, he's on the medium tyres as opposed to the hards. So he's on the alternate strategy. We'll see if that pays off for him at all. But every single fight that he has with Baggis is going to try and go up the inside into turn 1, and he's done so. Is Howie going to try and hold it around the outside, maybe go for a switchback of dreams? Into the corkscrew we go. And nothing coming of it just as of yet. Sector 2 to greet the drivers shortly here. 100 meter braking. You want to get this one right. Howie was late on the brakes there and slowly catching. It'll be interesting to see how this battle evolves over this Grand Prix. As at the moment, Howie with a 4/10 gap from Baggis. And slowly gaining all the way through this second sector, as we'd expect to see with better tyres. Sector 3 now greeting the drivers, and it's all about traction through this corner, through the slingshot. Alex and Verstappen having a fight at the back there. I'll slowly jump on that shortly. Here we go. Howie, down the back straight, what can he do? DRS wide open now, lap 5 of 28. Nothing being said of it so far. He thought about a move there. Marv overtaking roughly in the background. You can just see that is sideways for Baggis. I think Howie just slightly tapped the rear end of that Alpine. This is the fight we've been wanting to see all season long, and finally we're getting it. Baggis versus Howie, the two championship contenders. Turn 1. Is Howie going to think about a move here? I don't think he is. Let's jump on board now with telemetry, of course. Beautiful racing so far from these guys. The Alpine just keeping the McLaren at bay, and all the time that these guys are fighting, Marv is slowly gaining. But he's also having to defend from Rafley. Also going to keep an eye on that Delta from combined, currently about a 10th and a half behind Twitch Liddy. I say that as Twitch Liddy makes a mistake into the long corner. As, well, Combined says, thank you very much. I'm going to take that position away from you. Howie's still hunting down the Alpine. This is the fight we've been waiting for. The fight we've been expecting for a while. Andre and Alex as well. Alex has had a bit of a shocker of a Grand Prix again. Unfortunately, luck just not being in the way of him as DRS wide open and now guaranteed ERS as well. Baggis gets overtaken and Howie takes the net lead of this Grand Prix. The provisional lead of this Grand Prix. Rafley and Marv again swapping positions all the way down that back straight as we head on to lap 7 of 28. Howie has the lead of this Grand Prix, and it depends if he can keep it, as maybe up the inside again for Baggis. Will Baggis try the same move? Yes, he will. Up the inside goes Baggis before the corner even begins. Howie's going to be thinking now, can he overtake? As yellow flags in that sector 2, I think Kendra's had a moment. Kendra has had a moment indeed. Kendra retires from the session. There's a problem with that Red Bull without doubt. There is a big problem with that Red Bull. I wonder if we're going to get a safety car here. The Red Bull just on the side of the road. You can hear the engine. It isn't great. So Kendra retires from the session. And we wait to see if that affects the Grand Prix. I don't think it will. We shouldn't have a safety car theoretically here. Let's wait to see. Definitely no safety car. I think we're good. So Kendra unfortunately retiring. It's been a shocker of a Grand Prix, and that's going to put them out of contention. As Baggis and Howie still fighting at the front of the pack. And all to fight for still. Again, I keep saying it, all to fight for. Heaps of opportunities and heaps of driving to be done here. Still to be done, of course. Howie looking for a move and just backing out of it. So, again, Rafley and Marv just swapping places as you'd come to expect. Jay Beza having a little bit of a moment there with Liddy. And I believe getting past as well, so good move there. As Howie has not really run away with the lead as we would have expected him to on those medium tyres. I don't think they're working out for him as well as he would have expected them to. Marv still trying to find that Alpine. I think Raffley just making a slight mistake there as well, which is going to make it a little bit easier for Marv to have a potential opportunity down into the hairpin. Thought about it, backed out of it. Combined at the back here, though, has been creeping up this entire battle. Remember, this is the battle for the podium. We've got 20 laps to go. Still plenty of time for these drivers. For something to happen as well, there could be a late safety car. You never know. You never know around this circuit. Howie. Just noticed this as he tries around the outside. He's going to back out of it. He knows that's not smart. Looks for a switchback move through the Shanghai sling. Both of them sideways through the corner. I think Howie got the better of the two of the launches there. And I think he will also have DRS. So this is going to help him all the way down this back straight. Let's see who has DRS. Howie does indeed have DRS, and I think this is going to be it. Baggis is going to try and stick with him all the way down this straight. As yellow flags, I think that's Harris in the background. So Howie has to run away with this now if he wants his strategy to work. Those medium tyres have been working overtime. Baggis hasn't really let him go as we head down towards turn one. And guess what? Baggis is there yet again. He's going to say hello and goodbye to the McLaren as up the inside, Howie tries. They tried to brake a little bit more aggressively there and had a bit of a moment on the curbing, as you can just see in the background, Raffley and Marv still locked horns with combined, and now all of a sudden the other Williams of Jay Beze has been brought along. This train is pretty significant here, and Marv has a bit of a queue forming behind him without doubt. Jeff has dropped down a few positions. I don't know what's happened to him. I think it was up in 10th or 11th, and he's unfortunately dropped down. Combined looks to have a little bit more grip than Raffley. So it'll be interesting to see if that accounts to anything at the end of the stint. You see Howie and Baggis are just in the world of their own. They're fighting. Those two are fighting for the lead, and all while that's going on, there's a fight for the final podium position. Down the back straight we go. You can just see in the foreground there. Background, sorry, apologies. Roughly getting past, as expected. I thought Combined was having a little bit of a look up the inside there and thought better of it. Jeff and Andre also having a battle. I cannot wait to see what the two McLaren drivers have to say, because they did come together in the first lap. I think Howie was making a move there on Baggis. He was. So up the inside for Howie. He's got to try and get it done by the end of this first sector, and if he can get it done, he's got to run away with this. I continue to say he's got to get the better traction out this corner. He's got to run away with it, because if he doesn't, his strategy's just coming apart. Although he is going to make a bit of extra problem for Baggis on those hard tyres. So all the time that this is happening, the tyre wear is going down. It's mediums versus hards at the moment. Lap 10 of 28. You'd expect those mediums to slowly start dropping off soon. And at the moment, they're not showing any signs of dropping off. Baggis has dropped back significantly here. I think Howie's trying to pull a gap before the DRS line. Baggis isn't going to let it happen. But I think Howie might be safe. I think he might have done it as he pulls out of the Shanghai slingshot and onto the back straight. This is the moment of truth. Does Howie have enough to stay ahead here? Critical moments on lap 10 of 28 in this Grand Prix. Baggis thought about it, and he thought better of it. Marv and Raffley again just trading places and swapping. This is actually a pretty well-known strategy if they can do it right. They just drag each other along towards the other drivers of this Grand Prix, and Howie has kept the lead. I don't think Baggers will have anything to say into turn one. For the first time in about 3-4 laps, Howie finally leads and holds the lead of this Grand Prix. So while that's happening, we can just check behind with Combined, who's got Liddy right behind him. I think the Alpine there was just thinking about a move and just thought better of it. Helicopter camera now. Love seeing this. So it's currently a 4-way fight for that third position on the grid. On the podium, of course. Baggers is significantly closer through the slingshot. So I don't know how this is going to work out for him, if he's going to try and overtake Howie here. DRS Open, I think he's going to have an opportunity in a moment. Maybe he thought about it and he thought better of it. Raffley thought about the move there on Marv as well. Marv has held the position. So certainly changes of tyres to come shortly here. I reckon Verstappen and Ghost Rider. As Baggers goes up the inside, Howie's going to try and fight it around the outside now into the corkscrew. Maybe look for the switchback on those medium tyres. Who's going to get the better grip? Baggers goes sideways. Howie has a better grip. Out of the corner and into the hairpin we go. Howie has to stay with Baggers here. He really, really does. Mediums versus hards. Second sector pretty much complete. And heading into the third, Howie just sticking with Baggers, and I think he's going to potentially think about a move here. We'll just get some telemetry so we can get an idea of the energy usage as compared to the traction. So with DRS to greet him, I get a feeling that Baggers is going to be swarmed here by Howie. Baggers isn't even going to try and defend it. And now Howie has to consider the counter-attack into turn one. He should be thinking defensive here. That's how he should be thinking. No! Instead he comes into the pits. He's getting rid of those medium tyres. So the first pit stop of, I'm sure, many of this Grand Prix, as Howie comes into the pit and so does Combined. So the medium tyre runners have given up on those tyres. They've had enough. They're coming off. The McLaren team have to get this bang on. And they do. That's a beautiful stop for the McLaren team. This will be interesting to see if the undercut works, if the alternate strategy works for these drivers. Alex now right in the back of Howie as well, so about a second 0.3. This will be a critical outlap for Howie. He'll have to set good pace and just show what that medium tyre can do. I'd expect to see him setting purple sectors on the next lap without a doubt. What this has done, though, is it's brought a bit of a gap between Baggers and Marv. There's a 2-second gap that's formed. As Raffley and Marv, yet again, trading places. No surprises there. We'd expect to see that Ghost Rider, though, right on the back of Verstappen. Verstappen, right on the back of Andre. Is there something that's going to come of this? No, there isn't. I think everybody just behaving themselves. We're halfway through the Grand Prix at this point. I say that as Verstappen was sideways there, I think, into the back of Andre. Andre Potentially with the rescue operation here for the McLaren team. Ghost Rider looking to overtake into the corkscrew. Pushing Verstappen along pretty much. And unfortunately nothing coming of it for Ghost Rider. I guess now on those hards as well, it'd be interesting to see if that... I mean, they could drop off a cliff at any point in time. I think in Tier 1 we did see the hard tyres significantly drop off within 3 laps of... I think it was lap 18 that they just decided to stop working. And you can just see how much more slidey these tyres are as compared to a fresh set of mediums. But Alpine have played this pretty damn well. I mean, they're right there, 1 and 2 at the moment. The only time you're ever going to see an Alpine 1 and 2. Marv thought about the move there. He got close enough to make one, just didn't want to trouble the likes of Raffley. As we'll see if Baggis will come in now. I think Baggis into the pits. So Baggis into the pits. Raffley stays out and Marv stays out. Here's the critical moment. Sector 1 yellows. I think that's Harass around. So into the pits for Baggis. Alpine have to get this spot on. It's good. It's a good stop indeed. I think as well for stopping into the pits. But the question is, Howie, yes he does, and he takes it by a significant margin. Howie's currently about 2.5 seconds ahead of Baggis here on hard tyres compared to a new set of mediums. So this will be a very interesting end to the Grand Prix. Don't go anywhere. Would expect to see this one ramp up right at the end. Sector 2 yellows are still out for Harass. The main battle is now between Raffley and Marv into that 3rd sector, and I'd expect to see Marv overtake Raffley, and maybe both of them are going to come into the pits. They're going to be catching Harass soon for the overtake and the overlap as well. Here comes Marv. As Alex retires from the session, that could be a safety car. It is a safety car. That's going to work out perfectly in Marv and Raffley's favour. Yet again, Marv has been blessed by the gods if he wants to come in for a pit stop. Yet again, Marv absolutely nails it. I think Alex has had a moment and binned it into the wall. Unfortunate for him, as right in the background you can just see Marv just trying to gain as much time as he can into the pit stop. Marv and Raffley both going very, very wide on the entrance to the pit lane. So here we go, critical points of this Grand Prix. The question is, yes, Howie stays out and takes the lead of this Grand Prix. Baggis as well, but this is going to help Marv and Raffley stay well and truly in contention. With combined now as well, just behind Marv on a fresh set of hard tyres. So the safety car that we've been talking about this entire time, that's been threatening to come out, has finally come out. And now the race well and truly gets underway with pretty much the final stints being done now on these tyres. These are probably the final tyres for these drivers. Let's have a quick look at them. So an assortment of medium tyres versus hards, and they're pretty much fresh mediums as well, which isn't going to be helpful. Biggest winners at the moment, Howie up 5 positions. And unfortunately, Andre down 6. But this does also give an opportunity for Andre if he wants to come back from this. This definitely puts McLaren in with an opportunity here. I think Harris really... Pretty sure Harris has to overtake the safety car here. Yeah, Jay Bezos scoring massive points here. Potential on the board for these guys. There we go. So Harass overtakes the safety car. Nope, he doesn't. He gets disqualified for ignoring yellow flags. So, late drama as the Alpine gets disqualified from the session and we're down to 11 runners. I could not tell you what's just happened there. Harassed with quite possibly one of the worst introductions to this league I've ever seen. Disqualified from racing. Disqualified from qualifying. What has happened at that Aston Martin team to go so wrong? But we'll have one more lap under safety car, I believe, if Verstappen can catch in time. As he'll be pushing as hard as he can. Honestly, it's going to be quite interesting to see the outcome of this Grand Prix. I don't know if Howie can hold on with this. Those hard tyres look to drop off pretty damn quickly within 14 laps. So it'll be a stressful 14 laps for him. But then again, we've only got 28 laps to go. So just... I believe that's about 11 laps now, so with 10 laps to go, as soon as that Grand Prix gets back underway and running, I think we should have an interesting battle on our hands all the way to the end of this Grand Prix. Unless, and I'm saying unless, there's some drama. Because you never damn know in this league. You really, really don't. So, Verstappen has now caught the back of the pack. There has been no penalties administered apart from harass. Safety car will be in this lap. A gentle reminder, that safety car graphic does not go away, infuriatingly. But here we go. Howie will lead us away under safety car conditions, backs up the pack. Bert Mylander takes off down the road. And Howie gets ready to go. He has to wait for that. Oh, Howie almost sideways on the main straight and he somehow saved it. That's a big old moment from Howie. Right at the front of the field as well. You wouldn't want to do that under safety car. Here we go. Where is he going to launch the trigger? Where is he going to pull? Out of the hairpin? Maybe? No. He doesn't go out of the hairpin. He goes now. So he goes just a little bit further than the hairpin. Into the final corner. Runs a little bit wide, but continues on the way. Baggers will now have to hunt him down. We're back underway with green flag running. Don't mind that safety car graphic up the top. That's a complete lie. Verstappen definitely going to be one to watch off this restart, as well as Andre. They had significant pace around here, as immediately Verstappen up the inside of Jeff. Jeff tries to defend it. They come in together again, and Verstappen's race is halted ever so slightly. This is the best opportunity for Baggers here. He needs to get past Howie if he wants to take the lead of this Grand Prix. Combined with a bit of a moment in the background there, and Jay Beza taking it for fifth from him. Lockups are plenty with cold tyres, as expected. So Howie hasn't exactly run away with this lead. You wouldn't expect to see him run away with it, that's for sure. But here we go, through the slingshot. Combined also having a moment. Again, Libby just getting past, and Williams' race is going downhill. Baggers with the best opportunity to seize the lead of this Grand Prix and thinks about it, thinks better of it, that's for sure. In the background there, you can just see Combined trying to make amends for the mistakes he's made on this lap, on this opening lap of the safety car restart. DRS is now enabled, running very wide in the background there for stopping. Surprised we haven't seen a safety penalty administered yet, as Baggis, I thought, was thinking around the outside of Howie, but Howie defended that absolutely beautifully. So this is going to be a battle of wits. In theory, and on paper, Baggis wins this with those medium tyres. But if Howie can defend, like we know he can, he'll be fine. So Howie will really be considering this Grand Prix and how he's going to play this off. Third sector for the 19th time of 28. Just under 10 laps to go. As we continue on our way. Slingshot, DRS to greet the drivers, and this is, like I've been saying, the best opportunities for these drivers behind to get past Howie, and I think we're going to go 3 wide. I can't believe we're saying this. 3 wide down the back straight, now opening up into 2. So Baggis takes the lead. Marv has an opportunity to win this Grand Prix as well, and Raffley as well taking that, as, there we go, Verstappen gets the first penalty administered by the Stewarts. Sideways for these two drivers as well, Howie and Twitch Liddy. So, apologies there, Andre and combined with sideways, not Howie and Twitch Liddy. But Howie's gone from 1st to 6th in a span of a lap, in the span of a sector, and it's all come undone for the McLaren team. Alpine with the most perfect race at the moment that you could have asked for. Twitch Liddy goes up the inside of Raffley. And those hard tyres just weren't the play at all for the McLaren team. They'll definitely be regretting their choices of this strategy. And unfortunately, it's just how the cookie crumbles, especially with the safety cars. Just unfortunate safety car timing, as Jay Beza is in serious contention to take that podium position as well. Don't go anywhere, folks. This could be a very interesting final 8 laps. Howie's still, he's still there. He's still fighting. In fact, there he is. Howie's going to come down the back straight and immediately move to the right of combined. And the two McLarens are going to try and find their way through. I think Howie's going to try and block his... Oh, sideways there for Ghost Rider. That was an interesting turn of events there as we get a CWOS. Baggis setting the fastest lap, so setting the pace in this Grand Prix. Marv has to respond now if he wants a chance of winning this Grand Prix. Howie and Andre, the two McLarens, they don't need a fight. They don't want to come together like they did at the start of this Grand Prix. This is the last thing these McLarens need. They need to work together. At the moment, it just doesn't look like they want to do that at all, with Verstappen moving up positions. Maybe looking up the inside of Andre there. That was not exactly room left by Andre, but it was an invitation to Verstappen pretty much. Nothing happening of it. Verstappen with the certainty of faster tyres around this circuit. Andre does have older mediums, don't forget that. He may be on the medium tyres, but they are a little bit older than that of half the grid. Marv yet again, poised and ready to strike. Heading down this back straight, ERS enabled, DRS enabled now. And taking the lead of this Grand Prix is Marv. Is this another safety car wonder for this man? The Sauber team erupting in the pit lane. I can hear him just under the pit box here. The commentator's box, I can just hear the Sauber team in cheers as they look at their second win of the season. Ghost Rider gets a penalty as well. So 2 penalties administered now. Verstappen and Howie trading places. Jump on board with that, actually. This will be an interesting battle as Verstappen tries to go up the inside of Howie. Through the long left-hander. That's a move and a half, and a bit of contact as well, to say the least. As Verstappen, oh, big old snap from Howie in the background there, and that's going to be an invitation for Jeff to try up the inside as we head towards Sector 3. This race has come undone. It's just broken down as Howie's gone from 1st to 10th, and now it looks to be that he's going to go from 1st to last in the span of 3 laps. McLaren with the blunder. An unfortunate blunder as well, as Marv has slowly run away, pushing that gap, and he'll be looking to push it to a second if he can. The hard tyre, most definitely not the tyre to be on at the end of this Grand Prix. So unfortunate for Howie, that safety car. I think Jeff was just thinking about a move around the outside of Verstappen through the... Oh, big old moment there. They touch wheels. Through the corkscrew we go. This fight's going to get interesting. Howie maybe looking to regain position here, but I don't... At this point, it's just damage limitation for the McLaren driver as Verstappen and Jeff side by side, and Howie's going to be getting a front row view of this. Premier class seats. Howie getting held up significantly there. You can just see how much more pace he has compared to these two here in front of him. As Jay Beza and Raffley trading positions. I think Raffley's had a bit of a moment. He has indeed. So he's gone from 3rd down to 5th. He'll be looking to rescue what he can. Here we go with Howie though. He has to overtake and he has to do it now. Maybe go for the double overtake if he's daring. Verstappen and Jeff fighting at the front there, banging wheels as they always do. Oh, this isn't going to end well around the outside for both of them, and they don't. Doesn't end well indeed. As I've said, these two do not like to give up the Max Verstappen mentality, and that's nothing bad towards Max. I absolutely love him as a driver, but that's a Max Verstappen mentality of I do not get past or I will get past, and that's both of them. That's how they both think. Verstappen will not be happy with that at all. A shocker of a Grand Prix for him. Definitely one to forget around this Shanghai International Circuit. Raffley and Jay Beza. Jay Beza still, you know, in contention for the podium, but not all there. 4 laps to go. Still a bit of time to find as well. Marv has slowly run away with it, but at the same time I say that and Baggas is slowly pulling back a gap. So I wonder if Baggas is just doing some tyre management at the end of this Grand Prix and waiting for that final opportune moment to strike. I say that as Baggas was looking up the inside there and thought about the move as Jay Beza up the inside of Liddy. Trying it. Liddy getting a little bit hesitant there. Defends the inside line. Jay Beza will have DRS all the way down this straight though. That's a genius move from Jay Beza. That is absolutely genius. Chicken on the line. Turn 1. What can they do? Just keep it clean, boys, as they try to go around the outside of each other. And now Raffley's brought into the mix. Jay Beza goes for the switchback of dreams through the corkscrew and gets it done. Makes it work and makes it work significantly as well. Liddy will be on the back and climbing all over the back of that Williams, though. Will not be giving that up without a fight. It's up the inside yet again for Liddy. Just to hold that position from Raffley. Baggas is closer. He's a little bit closer this time. 3 laps to go. Are we going to have a eruption of a finish here? I don't know. But you never know around this circuit. 0.6 the gap. I think Baggers may have made a small mistake there. So here we go, Liddy up the inside of Jay Beza, looking for the opportunity, looking for the moment. Jay Beza gets squeezed out by Liddy. Raffley's going to have a premium view of this as well, as we have 2 laps to go here in Shanghai. 2 critical laps as well. Baggers and Marv in contention for the lead, and Jay Beza. Oh, this isn't going to end well. Raffley trying to go up the inside of Liddy, and Jay Beza's all the way at the back now. He went from 3rd to 5th in the span of a corner. Howie as well, trying to keep that position from Jeff. So this is going to be a very critical last lap of this Grand Prix around this Shanghai International Circuit. One last lap. Verstappen's going to go for the fastest lap to steal it and gain that extra point in the championship. We're halfway through the championship, I should mention that. As Marv has had a moment, and he's had a significant moment as well. That's just his race come all undone. Marv is not going to be happy with that. Baggers surely wins this Grand Prix now. He's got 4 seconds the gap. All he has to do is cruise home. And we've been robbed of a photo finish, but Baggers will be nothing but happy. All he has to do now is cruise home. Not make a mistake. He's got 4 seconds. That gap is pretty big. But the gap between 1st and 2nd, well, that's big. 3rd and 2nd is not. These guys have been fighting pretty much all Grand Prix for that coveted 2nd and 3rd position. On the podium is sideways there for Jay Beza through the final corner. Good save from the Williams. Andre getting overtaken, and unfortunately it's just not doing well for the McLaren team at all. Such an interesting Grand Prix. I mean, Baggers, yeah, he wins this pretty much by merit. Without doubt, Baggers wins this unless he makes a critical mistake, which I don't think he will. He's a very, very clean driver, is Baggers, but I know for a fact Marv will not be happy with what's happened here tonight. I think he had a bit of a moment into this corner, and you can just see how much more cautious he's being. Upshifting and quick shifting as well. Shifting early to ensure he doesn't get wheel spin. Marv most definitely feeling the pressure there from Baggers that was applied and making that mistake. And unfortunately, that was the nail in the coffin. So we head towards the final lap of this Grand Prix now. 4 seconds between Liddy and Dorman. You never know, Baggers could make a late mistake here. I highly doubt it, like I've been saying, but you never, ever know. As we head on to the final lap of this Grand Prix, Howie gets a 3-second time penalty, so the McLaren team going to drop back even further. Their race has come undone fully in a absolutely horrific style as well. And just Howie leading this Grand Prix went from 1st to 6th in the span of a sector, and then went all the way down to 10th and just been fighting for that position that he's currently in. Fighting furiously as Verstappen, as expected, sets the fastest lap on those soft tyres. We saw him box, go for that fast lap to keep himself in contention for this championship, for the World Championship around here. Marv right on the back of Twitch and looking to regain with damage limitation. All Baggers has to do now is come down that back straight with no problems. It's not a big ask. But maximum points here for him. He'll be happy with this. But Marv will be eyeing up Liddy here. Liddy will have a bunch of ERS saved up, I can guarantee it. But Marv will have absolutely not a singular F given of that at all, as Marv is trying to regain what is rightfully his. Unfortunately, with a mistake, Baggers crosses the line in first. Marv's cross second, third Twitch Liddy, fourth, fifth Raffley, and Jay Beza. Andre to come across the line as well. Howie, damage limitation right at the end of there. Jeff just getting Howie across the line. And Verstappen will come across the line, maybe taking another fastest lap, but take a bow, Baggers, taking the win of this Grand Prix and the victory. He can be happy with that one. Alpine are going to have a massive haul of points here. Williams as well, two of those drivers high up in the field. That was good to see. There you go, Baggers taking the lead and the win of this Grand Prix. Liddy with the driver of the day, no surprises there. A reset and a half from Liddy. That was beautiful off the safety car. Howie, I mean, he won't be happy with it, but it's how it goes. So there's your podium. And here is the race director as well. Incidences, quite a few exceeded track limits, and quite a few pit stops as well. But there is your winner for tonight, guys. Baggers Woman taking the win with Marv and Twitch Liddy following it in second and third, of course. But it was a very race here tonight. Can't wait for the break week, just to give my voice a little bit of a break here. But we'll see you in a fortnight's time. A good race around here tonight. Really enjoyed that one. Thank you guys so much for coming along tonight. And we'll see you next time. In 2 weeks, 7:30 AEST. Good night.